Hello again. When travelling on the London Underground yesterday, I noticed that a new crisis has struck the nation, namely that the sun is shining in July. At the entrance to the station was a large poster telling me that I should carry water with me at all times. This is weird. I've lived in the desert, so I know there are circumstances when it is prudent to carry a canteen of water. If one is crossing the Sinai on foot, it's only sensible to make sure you have some water with you. But taking a tube train in London, is it really necessary to carry a canteen for such an expedition? Was this vital 20 years ago, or 50? When did travelling by tube become such an adventure? I was prompted to consider this further when a friend told me this morning that her child's school has contacted parents and told them that they are cancelling the sports day this year. The reason? Sunny weather is forecast next week. This is really odd. When I was a child, we used to hope that the weather would be fine for sports day and that it wouldn't be a washout. Now, because the sun will be shining, a school is calling the whole thing off. Presumably they're worried that some child or other might be struck by a sunbeam. My newspaper this morning is also full of the dangers posed next week by the sun shining. In the description to this video I give a link to a piece from the Daily Telegraph about the terrible hazard posed to children by sunny days. According to the Daily Telegraph, parents and schools have been warned not to let children run around in the sun as the longest heatwave in 4 years arrives this weekend. We are solemnly warned that the United Kingdom Health Security Agency, no less, has warned schools and parents to avoid letting children undertake vigorous physical activity when temperatures exceed 30 degrees, which could scupper sports days and PE lessons during the last week of term. It said children should be kept out of the sun between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. The Red Cross in London is worried as well, saying that it's particularly important to check on elderly and other vulnerable family members and ensure they were staying hydrated because they may not feel thirsty. Check on Grandma and whether she has had her 6 glasses of water that day, said a spokesman for the Red Cross. That could be a phone call that saves a life. I don't know seriously whether my daughter is planning to telephone me and ask me whether I'm thirsty or whether I've had a glass of water lately. I don't think she'd dare, really. Not to mention, I think she's got more important things in her life. A few years ago, the idea of not allowing children to leave the house when the sun is shining would have been regarded as utterly mad. And it's a sign of the times that neither the Red Cross nor the United Kingdom Health and Security Agency seem able to say why we should keep our kids indoors when the sun is shining. Already schools routinely close down if it snows, so I suppose this might be the first sign of a new trend of shutting them when the sun shines as well, particularly in the summer. I know that weather is a topic of enduring fascination to the English, but this really is a bit bizarre. I have never in the whole course of my life heard it suggested that we should prevent children leaving the house if it is sunny. I would have thought that a fine summer's day would be just the time to go to the park or the beach or perhaps have a picnic in the countryside. Am I suffering from false memory syndrome, perhaps? It might be the first indication of Alzheimer's, but I'm thinking now. Didn't it used to be common for children to play out in the sun? And what's all this about fretting if your grandparents aren't drinking 6 glasses of water a day? I also seem to recall my grandparents coming to the beach with us on sunny days, and to the best of my memory, neither I nor they ever suffered any adverse effects. There is a determination, or so it seems to me, to make everything these days into a crisis. If there's no genuine drama, then we have to create our own. Who decided to have posters printed for tube stations telling people that they should always carry a canteen of water with them if they're making a journey on the underground? Why really would schools cancel their sports days because it might be sunny? I don't believe that normal people would even think of such things, but clearly there are those who feel they have to dream up anxieties of this kind and stop children going to the park or being in the school playground when the sun is shining. What do you suppose is the motive here, the real motive? Is it to maintain an air of emergency? To take people's minds off real problems? There really is something odd about it all. I will let Martin van Elst of the Red Cross have the last word. The UK doesn't think of itself as having heat waves, he said. We think of it as a nice day at the beach. But it is actually dangerous if we don't adjust our behaviour. There, you have been warned.